Back at you again for another video. Arsenal nil, Man City 1. Even though we didn't get thrashed, I just feel like, it's just all doom and gloom. And that's just because for many part of the season, I just feel like certain times I don't care. And this feeling has never sort of been within me for so long. But recently, I'm just not bothered. Back in the days, a loss, I'd be so livid, pissed off. Now I'm just like, I don't even care no more. And it's just sad that I've come to the stage where who cares? Who cares if we lose? Who cares if I'm in mid-table? Yes, deep down I care, but then again, I look around and nothing's going to change. Let's be honest, nothing's going to change. I'm hearing fans celebrating. We had a terrific transfer window, but did we really? All we've done is we've paid out these players the remaining contract. So, what sort of business did we do? We've paid these guys to leave the club. We didn't get a single fee for any of them. So what makes people think we're gonna all of a sudden have all this much money come the summer? Because we're not saving that money from Ozil's contract because we've had to pay him. Do you know what I mean? So on top of that, you've got the club who's taken out the 120 mil loan. So what money do the sort of fans and people think we're gonna have in the summer to go spend? And on top of that, you have to bear in mind it's COVID. It's just things are looking so doom and gloom, and that's why part of me just doesn't care because where is the light in this tunnel? Because I don't see it, and we're so deep into this tunnel. There's no way out, and that's just what it is. And I just feel like even with the sort of club stance saying that Mikel Arteta is safe, he's secured, unless we get relegated or we're near relegation zone, then what's the point? We can pretty much finish 15th. He's pretty much safe, Yeah, yeah. Finish 16, 15, mate. Yeah, yeah. You're pretty much safe. And I don't like that concept. And then on top of that, you have all this mistreatment of players. I've mentioned the whole Martinelli thing over and over again. A young, talented player who last January was our player of the month. And then all of a sudden, he gets taken out of the team. What's the point of that? Do you know what I mean? It's just so many man management decisions, so many club decisions as well. Just confuses me, and I just don't get it. I don't get it, and I'm just sort of fed up. I've gone to that stage. I care, but I don't care if that makes sense. It's yeah, it is what it is. Obviously, I want us to be at the top, but I just don't see much care by the sort of fans, by the sort of the club that themselves. They're more interested in selling us merchandise than investing on the pitch so we can actually go on to win things. I actually saw on Twitter a poll today saying if you could go back in time, and I think the Twitter poll was by Gunner Blog, and his poll was if you could go back in time, would you have gone with Arteta or Ancelotti? Because remember, us and Everton appointed both Arteta and Ancelotti at the same time, and both managers were spectating the game when we played Everton and where it ended in a 1-all draw. And 74% of the fan base said that they would have stuck with Arteta in hindsight. Like, really? It's crazy when I think about it. But then again, that's why I just don't really care because a lot of the fan base just don't care. The club don't care, and it's just depressing. But anyways, let's get into the game itself. As I said, it was a boring fest again. Man City didn't dominate as much as I thought they would have. But then again, I feel as if they didn't really go for the kill. You could see that they were sort of reserving for the Champions League come midweek. So I feel like we were quite lucky. They knew they had us. They knew with sort of being 1-0 up, the ball was in their corner, and some of the sort of stats sort of reflects that. We had a total shot of 7 at home, with them having more than double with 15. We had one shot in on target in 90 minutes. We registered one shot on target, whereas they got 3 shot on target. Possession. They didn't you dominate as they typically would. They had 56% with us having 44%. But in terms of the league table, where does that leave us right now? So I think we're still in 10th, if I'm honest with you. Yeah, so we're in 10th, and it looks like we're never gonna leave 10th. In terms of team around us, Spurs did lose to West Ham today. However, they do have a game in hand, and if they were to go on and win that game, that puts them 5 points ahead of us. So it's not really looking great. Aston Villa, they're in 36, but then they've got 2 games over us. So yeah, and every time I sort of look at this league table, it's just so depressing. And you just, can you be asked? Can you really be asked? But let's get into my player ratings. It's gonna be a quick one. I can't be asked with this as well. Everyone pretty much didn't do too great, if I'm honest with you. I don't think there was any standout player. I don't think there was a single player where I could say, yeah, you know what? He actually impressed. He actually was not too bad. He produced a bit of magic. There wasn't that one player. So Bernd Leno, he was pretty much caught in no man's land in the goal. But then I don't blame him. But still, I'm just gonna have to give him a standard 5. Bellerin or Bellerina. You see what I mean about Bellerina? This is why, yeah, I never rate him. I will hear people tell me, "Oh, look, he's had a great game. He's had a great game. Look at last week, great game. He scored a goal, whenever that was." And then he goes back to being Bellerina, and even in those games like Leeds United, for example, where he scored, Costa, goal was from Bellerin. He went past Bellerin too easy, and he got Leeds their second goal. And then again today, what was he and Rob Holding doing? Just, they got out jumped by a guy that's 5 foot nothing. So for me, man, Bellerina, you get a free. Rob Holding, you get a free as well. You and Bellerin, I don't know what you were doing to concede that goal. You're like twice the size of Raheem Sterling, and he out jumped you. Explain that one to me. Yeah, apparently he is our key, and he, deserves a contract, and he is a player Arteta believes is our starter. So yeah, I just don't get it. He gets a free for me. Pablo Marie, he gets a free, but then again, I don't blame him. He hasn't featured for weeks, and then gets put against Manchester City, so he gets a free, but I can't put too much emphasis on him for that. Kieran Tierney looked poor, and that's hard for me to say because KT has been one of our standout players this season. In a very, very poor season, he's been one of that few spark that's been decent for us. But he gets a free on this game here. Granit Xhaka, straight free. Mohamed El free. You know what? If Mohamed El is fortunate enough to stay at Arsenal beyond next season, that's just as big as a miracle as Carl Jenkinson saying he managed to play for Arsenal for all those years. Because these players are so shit. They don't deserve to play for Arsenal. And I don't mean that, with any disrespect. He's El Nene from Basel, man. And, Basel, Dolmio and that. And he's somehow playing for us. And £5 million. That's all I'm saying. And yeah, he's here. Even fucking Turkey don't want him like that. They don't think, our valuation for him was worth it when we proposed 10 million. The fact that Turkish clubs are saying, nah, 10 million for El Nene, nah, we'll go elsewhere, tells you everything you need to know. And yet he somehow plays for Arsenal and starting in our midfield against Manchester City, who are probably going to win the league. Yeah, he gets a free from me. Odegaard, one of our few decent players. I'm going to have to give him a 5. But then again, he didn't do much. He gets a free. I'm not going to give anyone man of the match because I don't believe anyone deserves that title, man of the match, because they were pretty much bad or mediocre at best. So Saka gets a 4, but it pretty much annoyed me why Saka's best game so far this season has been operating on the right and Pepe has found his form recently on the left-hand side. Yet coming into this game, Arteta decides to switch him over. Makes no sense, but Saka gets a 4. Pepe, non-existent. Might as well call him Casper the Ghost. Just was he even there? He gets a 3. Aubameyang's picture pretty much describes his performance today. Non-existent, wasn't there. But anyways, that's been my player rating. I know it's been it's not been the greatest. It's been pretty moody, pretty flat. But what do we have to look forward to? You know what I mean? What do we have to make us smile as Arsenal fan at this moment in time? There's not much, to be honest with you. But hopefully, in your own personal life, you might find happiness because you're not going to get it from Arsenal. But until then, please like, subscribe, and all the best, guys.